What's up, guys? Welcome back once again to LearntotanK. Today I'm gonna be going over the encounter Heroic Spine. This is a Prot warrior guide, so I am sorry for the rest of the tanks. Alright, let's get going. Talents that you want to pick up. You want to pick up Thunderstruck. Why? Because it increases the shit out of the damage on your main AoE abilities. Next one on the line is Blood and Thunder. It goes pretty well with Thunderstruck because once you have Rain on the target and you Thunderclap, now all your targets get Rain. Blood Craze is minimal for other fights, but for this one it's pretty good. It does for me about 400k self heals throughout the entire fight, so I recommend picking it up for this fight. Alright, your Glyph. You want to pick up Glyph to Shockwave. Why? Because you're going to be using Shockwave a lot in this fight, and that 3-second reduction makes a huge difference on this fight, especially when you're kiting. Since you're going to be using Cleave most of the fight and you're going to be dealing with more than 2 targets, Glyph of Cleaving is a really good choice. Glyph of Thunderclap is not really huge, but I still recommend it. Alright, let's take care of some important things that you need to know about this fight. The best thing to do, you want to be capped, CTC cap, which means 102.4 avoidance, aka unhittable. Make sure you have that shit. Next one is, make sure you use Shockwave on cooldown. Why? Because it stuns the oozes, which means you stop taking damage, and the healers love when you stop taking damage, so make sure you use Shockwave. It's also one of the biggest tools for kiting. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is, use the shit out of Shockwave because it is fucking OP for this fight. The next one is the all-in-one macro. It's a pretty nice macro that I got from a PvPer. What it does is, it puts charge, intercept, and inner bin in one macro. It is nice for kiting. It makes things way quicker and easier when you're running around with like 10 oozes behind you. I'm gonna leave a link at the bottom of this video for the macro so you guys can check it out. Also, vigilance. Don't ever forget to put vigilance on the other tank. Having your taunt refreshed on this fight is huge whenever you have to deal with a shitload of oozes. Alright, positioning. It really doesn't change much from normal when you're dealing with plates 1 and 2. The fun really starts when you get to plate 3, where you have to start kiting and all that bullshit. I'm not gonna cover any healing or any stuff that doesn't have to do with tanking. I'm just gonna cover tanking mechanics. For plates 1 and 2, you sit close to the plate, you tank there, you clip the shit out of everything, put Ren on everything, and then you wait for the other tank to bring his amalgamation in to get 9 stacks. They blow up the plate, you move to the middle, sit there with your healers, make sure you're picking up all the bloods. Once the plate comes down, you go back to the plate and repeat it again. This is for plates 1 and 2. For plate 3, there's different ways to deal with it, different strats, but this is the way we do it in my guild. We have the 2 main tanks start kiting for plate 3, and we have a DPS, a Feral Druid, shout out to Malenker, and he takes care of the amalgamations, and what we do basically is kite oozes the entire third phase. Alright, kiting. Yes, you're gonna have to kite, there's no way around it. It is essential for this fight, and if you're a warrior and you don't like kiting, do us a favor and go reroll Paladin or something. Here's the choices. You can use Heroic Leap, Shockwave, Charge, Intercept, Inner Beam. Now don't go around using them all at once and then you put yourself in a situation where you don't have nothing to use and you're gonna get one shot. So plan around the cooldown and be smart about it. Now sometimes you put yourself in a situation that you have to charge through the middle or you have to take unnecessary damage. Make sure you pop a cooldown before this happens. Don't pop it as it's happening because most of the time you're gonna get 1 shot or 2 shot. So pop your cooldowns before you take the damage, and if you have no cooldowns and you know you're gonna get shit on, make sure you tell a healer, hey, I'm about to get shit on, can I get some big heals or a cooldown? Okay, the next one, Shockwave and kiting. Whenever you use Shockwave, don't charge immediately right after you Shockwave to the other side. Just run over there. Most likely Wind Walk is gonna be up, plus they're gonna be stunned for 3 seconds, so you have time to run to the other side. Save your charge for a more important situation. Also, help your homie, help the other tank. If you see him coming around the corner next to you, make sure you use Shockwave to stun his group and yours. Alright guys, that was Heroic Spine. I want to make clear that I am not the best tank out there. I'm just making these guides to help a few people. I'm sure there's a million ways to do this encounter, probably better ways, but I'm just showing you what gives me results, the way I do it. Also, if I made any mistakes, if I didn't mention something that was really important for the fight, if there is a way to improve anything I said on my guide, please feel free to leave a comment. I will reply to you. I'm gonna leave a link to my armory, my wild progress, my guild's website, and I'm also gonna leave the macro, the all-in-one macro, in the information at the bottom. Once again, thanks for watching Learn to Tank, and keep it wit.